Trump's plan that do create problems.
He feeds ammunition to the other party.
Visceral and populist and angry politicians.
Donald Trump's son, right here to go on the record.
He's incredibly quick, he's incredibly practical, he likes to keep things simple, he likes to get things done. He can cut through the red tape. I think he's an amazing man. And we've seen a lot of great negotiators. We deal with them every single day, and there's no one better than he is. And he'd be an amazing president of this country. He's passionate.
Catch of the day video notice. You won't believe this, but this is a recording of him entering. He's not entering, but I'm on here videotaping.
He's running and I'm voting for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump. Yes! We love you. We love you. On the rest of the house.
Thank you. That's the first time they've ever done that. Thank you. That's the first time. Amazing. So it's all morphed into one big, beautiful package. And the package is called you, but maybe it's in the form of me. The beautiful package that we're going to do. And you're going to be so proud. And you're going to be so happy. And you're going to win again. We're going to start winning so much. We're going to win. We're going to win on trade. We're going to win on healthcare. We're going to win with the military. Hopefully, don't have to use it. We're going to win with our vets. We're going to win with our wounded warriors, the greatest people of all. They're incredible. We're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to take back our jobs
This
from
is
China and
Hollywood.
Japan.
This is total Hollywood.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the next President of the United States, Mr. Donald J. Trump! I wish those cameras would show the crowd. They don't do that. You know, we had people standing. It is seriously cold outside. They were standing outside for hours. You're tough up here. You're tough up here. Not a lot of people can do that. And we waited like a little while. We had to get everybody, and it's packed. This is a record crowd, and it's just. Folks, we have a revolution going on. People are tired and they're sick of the stupidity that we're seeing coming out of Washington. Sick and disgusted. And I'm disgusted. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And by the way, be careful. Because we made Iran a real power. We gave them $150 billion. And now they want more. So we gave them, think of this, you really look at it, what they've done. We gave them no, and would say, oh, let's go into the next one. We didn't win anything. They self-inspect. How about that? And when they don't self-inspect, they have 24 days to give you the area. And that 24 days could start a long time before the clock starts ticking. What's going on is crazy. And then I said to myself, what a deal, what a deal. How we give them $150 billion and everything else. And we don't even get our 4 great people back that don't deserve to be there. One is there because he's a minister, he's a pastor. I mean, they don't deserve to be there, folks. And now they want to start a negotiation for the prisoners. Can you believe it? So now we're going to have to start. And they want a lot. They've informed us they want a lot. These are amateurs. This is rank amateur. It's something. I tell you what, actually, it's hard to believe. So I used to say it was incompetent. Then I said, you know, I went to an Ivy League school. And it's interesting if the press said, oh, I'm playing sport. I'm not. My uncle, for many years, was a professor at MIT. You know, we're all smart people. We are really smart. Nobody playing. I believe I have the smartest audience of anybody. Nobody. Understand what's going on, but think of it. So, about 2 weeks ago, I said, well, wait a minute, this is the greatest deal I've ever seen. They're ending. One of the great deals I've ever seen. One of the dumbest deals I've ever seen negotiated. Kerry has no idea what the hell he's doing. He comes from your parties. I blame you. He comes right from the area. I mean, I have to blame you. Well, blame, hey, New Hampshire, let's blame Massachusetts again. So, no, I mean, the deal he made is just incredible. But think of what they're getting. So they get the deal. They get all of the things that they're getting. There'll be a nuclear power quickly. They're rich as hell. Now they're going to be fighting everybody. But what else do they get that we never talked about? They get Iraq with the 2nd largest oil reserves in the world. And they've been after Iraq forever. Forever. And they've been fighting. You know, they were equal powers. And they go this way, that way, that way. They go home and rest for a couple of years, then they start fighting. We decapitated Iraq. And I was always again, I'm the most militaristic person in this room. Except for that. I see one guy might. That guy might have it. I am the most militaristic person in this room. And we're going to make our military, just like they said, I never saw the piece that they just played. I want to see if it's any good. Is it any good? I don't know. I've never done it the first time. It's the first time we've ever played. I said, would it be, you know, I'd like to see it before you put it on. But I heard backstage, and it talks about, you know, the military. We're going to make our military so big, so strong, so powerful, that nobody's going to miss it. Nobody. And we're going to take care of our vets like they're supposed to be taken care of. Iran not only made a great deal, but they also got something that they've wanted forever. They got, and in the old days they didn't want it for the oil, they just wanted it. But now they also want it for the oil. Remember this. What they did, we should have been doing for many years. We should have been doing it. Why didn't we do it? It's ridiculous. But here's the story. If I spoke to those young people, now they may have a problem. They may have that. They may have something else. So why would they do it? What's going on there? They don't even know what they're asking for. But I guarantee if we sit down with some of them within a short period of time, what are we asking? We want our country to be great again. We want jobs to be great. There's really nothing radical. We want good health care. Obamacare is a disaster. We're going to repeal it and replace it. We want a strong military. We want to be protected. Now maybe they'll say, oh, well, we don't want to be protected. Or maybe they'll say, well, we don't want health care. Maybe they'll say, who cares about Social Security? We're going to save Social Security. We're not going to change the deal again. We're not going to change the deal. We're going to save it. And you know, when you think of it, all of the different things that we all want, you would think they'd want, and it's very simple. So, I'll say, get him out of here. And the press will go, he was so mean. And then one time, 2 weeks later, I said, it was a rough person. I said, you know what? It doesn't matter. Treat him really, really nicely. And I got criticized for being too nice. What's going on back there? Into the cold. You know? And it is true, though, if you could talk to these people, we would, I mean, unless they have bad intentions, which is possible, or unless they're doing something they're not supposed to be doing, you would think that they'd want to see a strong country, a great health care, all of these things that we talk about all of the time. Strong borders. And by the way, we will build a wall. We're going to have drugs. You know where much of that's coming from. We're going to stop it, and we're going to work with the people that really had the problem, and we're going to try like hell to get them better, because they have to get better. But you know where that stuff is coming from? They're not going to be sending it over so easy anymore, folks. They're not going to be sending it, because you have a tremendous problem up here. Tremendous. You have the heroin problem up here. It's incredible. And it's funny, when I come to different locations, I go to different locations. They don't talk about it so much. I come up to New Hampshire, I come up to Mass. No matter what, the first question, the second question is heroin and what's going on. People don't even get it. I mean, they look at it, they don't get it. We're going to put an end to it to a large extent. To a large extent, we're going to put an end to it. We're going to work on it. It's a serious problem. So, we get these big crowds, we have the tremendous support, we have the polls that are going through the roof. I'll read them to you. Well, I love them. You know, you'll know I'm number 2 if I ever stop reading polls, right? But look at what happened. People wonder why. And look at last week. You saw what they passed, right? The budget. I didn't even know it went so fast. It went so quickly. And you look at it, they want to fund Obamacare, fund Planned Parenthood, fund global warming, fund the Syrian refugee program. They got everything. I'm saying, where are the Republicans? Where are the leadership? There's no leadership. They got everything. And it was done so quickly. It was done like, it seemed like it was done in 24 hours. It was done. Right? It was done so quickly. Those days are over. We're going to do something in Washington that maybe has never been done before. You know, they're saying what's happened with us, and it's not me. I'm a messenger in a sense. It's all of us. It's a movement. I'm telling you. People used to call it the silent majority. We're not silent anymore, folks. We can't be silent anymore. We're the noisy majority. We're not silent anymore. We're not going to take it anymore. We're not taking it. They remind me a little bit of Hillary. No energy, no stamina, no strength. So we have a ways to go. We'll get to Hillary. You know, a poll came out today where I beat Hillary and I'll beat Hillary. Look, we haven't even focused on her yet. We haven't even talked about her much. I've been too busy focusing on these. We had 17. Now we're down to 14 with a lot of people dropping out. This guy, Jeb Bush, he does commercials. He's in favor of Common Core. Think of it. He's in favor of Common Core. He says they come over the border as an act of love. How about that? An act of love. Tell that to the people that were killed. It was an act of love, all right? So I look at what's happened, and I look at the people that I'm running against. Some I like, some I don't like so much. I'm not supposed to say that politically. It's not politically correct. But we gave up now, folks, on political correctness because we don't have enough time. We don't have enough time. So, just to conclude, because we were very rudely interrupted with Iran. Horrible deal. But what did they get? What did they get? They got Iraq. And now what are they looking for? They're looking for Saudi Arabia, folks. And I've been very, very good at predicting things. I said take the oil. For 3 years I've been saying, 4 years, take the oil, take the oil. They never took it. Now they want to take the oil. But I said take it and keep it and give some of it in terms of the form of money and profit to the veterans and the families that have lost it. I said take the oil and keep it, not just blow it up. And honestly, these people don't understand. For instance, when I said build the wall, and then I always say, and who's going to pay for the wall? Mexico. Mexico's going to pay for the wall. And the people that are up on the stage will say, they won't pay. Why would they pay for the wall? You know why? Because they make a fortune with us every year. We give them a lot of money. Our trade imbalance, our trade deficit with Mexico is enormous. By comparison, the wall is peanuts. We're going to build. Now, then they say you can't build a wall. I'm really good at building things. I'm the best. And I build under budget, and I build ahead of schedule, under schedule. I build good. And I'll tell you, we're going to have a beautiful wall. It's going to be real wall. It's going to go nice and high. It's going to look good because someday they'll name it the Trump wall, probably. When I say to the politicians that Mexico is going to pay, they would come back and see me, and you know they're friendly. They say, Don, you're not going to be able to get it to pay. I say, it's so easy. It's so easy. It's like I tell the story about Ford, right? Ford's building a $2.5 billion plant in Mexico. What do we get out of it? We get nothing. They close up factories in Michigan and other places. We get nothing out of it. They're building it, and I would tell them, folks, you're going to sell cars to us. You just let all those jobs go. Mexico spent $2.5 million, and one of these political people, assuming they were in that position, they will let them happen. Because I'm self-funding my campaign, I'm putting up all my own money, nobody knows the game better than me. Nobody knows the game better than me. And all these people, you see these funds where they have Jeb, $128 million. This guy spent $59 million, and he's at the bottom of the barrel. No, it's amazing. And I'm guilty, you know, I feel so guilty, because I spend nothing and I'm at the top. Wouldn't it be nice? And you know, one of the very good reporters asked me a question before, why are you even spending money on this? Because I'm going to take like a couple of $1 million a week and spend it. I said, honestly, I feel guilty. I feel guilty. All these people are spending all this money. I feel a little guilty. I used to tell people, I spent nothing. Jeb spent $59 million. He's at the bottom of the barrel. I'm long, like I'm so far. Wouldn't it be great if we could do that for our country? Her office space in New York, it's all beautifully built out, the money they spend. And the money these enablers, I call them, they're enablers. The money they make for raising money is incredible. One of the campaigns, according to the Los Angeles Times, had $6 million raised. And out of the $6 million, you know how much was left for the campaign? $140,000. I want to go into that business. I think I'm not going to run, I'm going to go into that business. I would have, if I wanted to take money, the money that, you know, when you hit number one, the money that's being offered, people, they call me, Don, I'd love to give you money, whatever the hell, whatever I wanted. I would have the greatest fund ever put together. I'm saying no. I feel guilty. You know, my whole life has been about taking money, making money, let's make more money, more money. It's been my life. And now I'm going into culture shock. I don't want money. I don't want it. I'm turning down all this money. And then when I was in Iowa, I said to a group, look, I'm being offered a lot of money. Can I please let it come in? And I promise it won't influence me. And they all stood up and they said, no, no. They were screaming no. And I understand what that means. Because you're going to be influenced. So, with Ford, if, let's say, Hillary's president, like, 4 more years of Obama, that's what you call it. So let's say Hillary. So they'll say, you know, it's really one of those things, but it's a very bad thing for the country. And she'll say, yes, you're right, we're going to not let it happen. So what happens is the lobbyists and the special interests will see the president and say, they contributed $5 million to you. You can't do this. Somebody. And they'll hire the different groups. I do that. I mean, I have so many people. These lobbyists, I know they're coming out of my ears, okay? I know the lobbyists. I know the special interests. Believe me, they're very smart. They're very strong. So they'll say, we can't let this happen. And she'll say, you're right. When the lobbyists talk to them, when the special interests and the donors speak to them, they're going to let it happen. And that's the end of it. With me, here's the story. President Trump, okay? Let's go. President Trump is there, and Ford has moved this big plant that they want to build in Mexico. And I'm going to say, fellas, not going to happen. You're losing jobs. We're not going to do it. And here's the story. What you do is immediately change it. I will be hit by more people I know, but nobody gave me anything because I'm not taking their money. And I'll say, no, no, no. And then finally I'll say, here's the story. I'll tell the top people, you are going to do the following. You're going to build a plant in Mexico, and every car and truck and part that you sell, it comes right through the border, and you know what? You're going to pay 35% tax on that. The greatest businessmen who are Carl Icahn, who just endorsed me, all of the businessmen, they all love Trump. I'm going to use these brilliant guys. I don't want to pay them anything. I'm not going to pay. They'll do it. But here's what's going to happen. Within 24 hours to maybe, if they want to play hardball, 48 hours, okay? They're going to say, no, we're not going to do it. That's all right. Don't worry about it. You know, enjoy your plant in Mexico. Have a good time. They will call up and say, Mr. President, please, it's not right. I say, no. We want you to build in the United States. They will call back and they will say, Mr. President, we've decided to build in the United States. That's what is going to happen. And they'll build in the United States. Nabisco is moving one of their big plants from Chicago into Mexico. We're losing our jobs to China, to Vietnam. You look at what's going on with Japan. Japan is killing us. They're selling millions of cars to us. We sell them like practically nothing by comparison. We need our best. You know, we have the greatest businessmen and women in the world. We don't use them. We use political hacks to negotiate this. We have a trade deficit with China. $505 billion, not million, billion dollars a year. What kind of a partner is that? And then I see Obama giving in his tent. I offered to build a ballroom. Remember I said I'll build a ballroom at the White House. We'll get 5 great architects. You'll pick the one you want. $100 million at least. I offered to do it. They didn't even return my phone call. They use a tent. Okay, so they have a tent. Big tent on the White House or the lawn. And the president of China is coming in and they're whining and dining. I said, he's taking advantage of us. He really is taking advantage. You don't do that when people take advantage. So, here's what happened. I would talk about June 16th, I announced. Everybody said, forget it. You know, polls came out. Nobody believed I was going to run. And then I said, I got to do it. There's too many stupid things happening. It was trying to, right? No, I didn't want to do it. I have this great company, I have a great family, I didn't want to do it. I just couldn't take it anymore. I'm looking at these things that are happening. I look at the Iran deal, I look at all of these things that are happening. And I say, how can we continue to go on? We owe $19 trillion. They just made this stupid budget deal that's going to increase it by trillions. And it went so fast. And everything that you don't want is in that budget. And I say, where was Paul Ryan? Where are all these people that are supposed to be representing our interests? Where were they? Where are they? Where are they? Nobody's representing our interests. So here's what happened. So I announced, and everyone said, you know, all the pundits, most of them are morons, but all of these pundits, this George Will, you take away the glasses of the little spectacles, you will say he's a dumb person, okay? I'm telling you. He's a dumb guy. You know, big, strong, he wants to go with Iraq, and he wants to fight, and great job, George, you're a really great job. But all these guys, Karl Rove, he spends hundreds of millions of dollars on campaigns. He doesn't win anything. In fact, the commercials that were done for the Republicans were so bad, I thought they were done for the Democrats. I wanted to hire the guy that did it, then I found out it was reversed. We have people that aren't good. We have people representing us that are not good. They're not doing us any service. So I said, I'm going to run. And it takes guts, believe me. I really thank you, man. It takes guts. And I tell the story, the famous escalator in Trump Tower. I said to my wife, I never saw that many cameras. See all those cameras back there now? All live. Every speech I make has to be live. I mean, nobody else, you know, the other guys, they speak and they give the same speech over and over and over. They read it. They have teleprompters. For 200 people, they'll have a teleprompter. I don't use teleprompters. You know what I use? We have a president that uses teleprompters. Believe me, I don't use teleprompters. You know, it's a different thing. When you get up before large crowds, thousands and thousands, like this is a record for the building. When you get up into these large crowds, and you speak from the heart. You speak from the heart. I tell the story, a friend of mine is a very, very successful guy, very, very successful. And I was speaking in Dallas, and I have 21,000 people in the arena, the Mavericks arena, packed. And it was great. And he couldn't believe it. He said, could I see a copy of your speech? I said, what speech? I don't do copies. He said, I speak. There is such love in the room. And I told him that. He didn't understand it. This is not a guy to do this. I say, there is such love in these rooms. Here, Dallas, no matter where I go. Here, we're in Massachusetts. We go to New Hampshire. We go to Iowa. We go to South Carolina. We go to Nevada. No matter where I go, we go into Florida, where it's been incredible. I go to Texas. It's all the same. It's love. It's love. They love it. You know, the theme is Make America Great Again. They really want to make America great again. That's what's going to happen. We're going to make America great again. We're going to use our best people. We're going to use these people that I talk about. We're going to make this country maybe better than ever before. And we can do it. We can do it. Because the people are so amazing. So when I told my friend, I said, no, I go up without notes, without anything. I don't read the speech. I don't do the teleprompter thing, which would be so easy. Wouldn't that be easy? I have 2 teleprompters. I watched Hillary the other day. She's the biggest teleprompters I've ever seen. In fact, if you're sitting on that side of the room or that side of the room, you can't even see her because when they're outside, they're painted black. So you can't even see her. But she's got the biggest teleprompters. We don't need 4 more years of Obama, and that's what you're getting with him. And I believe it might be even worse, if you want to know the truth. It might be worse, okay? And we don't need that. But I speak from the heart. And I said to my wife, boy, I'd rather not do it. And I looked down, and in the atrium of Trump Tower, it looked like the Academy Awards. It really did. I've never seen so many cameras in my life. We have a lot. Look at all the cameras here tonight. And all live television. They're all on live. We have high five. And I wish, you know, I always do this. I always do it, but I wish they'd turn the cameras and show the audience, but they cannot. Guts. Oh, I love that man. Look at stand up. It says Trump and Tom Brady. Look together. Tom, we got to get Tom better. Remember this. Tom Brady injured is still better than anybody else. Pull the shirt. I gotta get me on that shirt. Look at that guy. Turn around. Show that to those cameras. They won't put it up. That is beautiful. I love it. That is beautiful. Well, Tom has been very nice to me, and Tom's my friend, and he's been saying great things about me, you know that. And I'll tell you what, he's a champ and he's a winner, and that's what we need in this country. So, I said to my wife, gotta do it, gotta do it. And we went down the famous escalator, right? Boom. And she was waving and I was waving. And I said, man. And then I brought up a thing called illegal immigration. And nobody, I'm telling you, and did I take heat? Did I take heat? Rush Limbaugh is a great guy, said, nobody has ever taken more incoming than Trump. And I stuck with it. And I agree. And then you had the problem, I mean, so many problems. But you had Kate, beautiful Kate in San Francisco, killed by an illegal immigrant. And you had so many others. You had so many others. And then they started seeing the crimes. Jamil in Los Angeles, young guy, shot in the face for no reason whatsoever, was going to go to one of the great colleges on a scholarship, and horrible. You had the woman, veteran, wonderful woman, 66-year-old veteran, and retired, proud, raped, sodomized, and killed in Los Angeles. California, and so many others. And people start saying, well, Trump is right. And I'm not even talking about the economic impact and the other impact. And I want people coming into our country, but they have to come in legally. They have to come in. So I said to my wife, I took a deep breath. Because it takes guts. I took a deep breath. I said, let's go. Come on. And we went down into that area with the cameras, and I spoke again from the heart, and it was an amazing day, and what's happened since then has been incredible. People have said there's never been anything like it, and it is a movement. The reason this arena has never been used is because nobody could fill it up, nobody could even, I mean, these other candidates that come, if they have 59 people, it's true. We get 10,000 people. If they have 59 people, if they have 103 people, we had a case where we had 4,500 people in New Hampshire, and fairly close down the way was Jeb Bush, where he had 104. But they had the advantage because they all fell asleep. They got a good night's sleep. My people. So we went out and I did it, and we started telling the country what's going on. And a lot of people, you know, the George Wills and these characters say, so, well, he won't run. He's just having a good time. It's not having a good time. As much as I love you people, I could be doing other things right now. I must tell you. I could be doing other things. But I said, we have to do something. We have to do something. We have something that's so great we can't lose it. We're going to lose it. The way we're going right now, think of it. We have a military that doesn't perform. We have generals that go on television all the time and talk. We have a president that when he sends 50 people over, he has a news conference to announce that 50 people are going over to Iraq. So now the enemy is looking for those 50 people. Why can't he keep his mouth shut? Why can't he just let him? Why can't he let him go? You know, you get these generals, you see them, they're always on television, they're talking. Whoever, you know, do you think the great General George Patton would have been talking with them? He does, he does. General Douglas MacArthur, they don't talk. These were generals. And we have talent. We have real talent in our military. I know the West Point guys. I know the Air Force guys. I know the Naval guys, the Annapolis guys. These are tremendous guys. We have that in those ranks. But, you know, today we let one of our best generals go, tough and rough, and his people loved him. But he used foul language, okay? You think General Patton might have used a little foul language as he was destroying the enemy? And I see one of these generals, I won't mention names because he looks like he's a nice guy, who cares, right? But they're asking about ISIS, and he said, oh, it's very tough, it's very tough. It's probably 30,000, maybe 60,000 max, but probably 30, 40,000 people. And they're really, I mean, they're bad. They're bad. They chop off heads. When Hillary said, I don't like the tone of Mr. Trump. The tone. They're chopping off people's heads in the Middle East. The tone, she's worried about tone. I'm a much nicer person than she is. But we have to be tough. So I said to my wife, look, so we go down. We did a great thing, and that's when the whole thing with illegal immigration came up, and it was, you know, originally everybody was going crazy, and then now they can't, I mean, now they're trying to, I heard one of the candidates, and I won't say who, because he happens to be a very nice guy, but he was being interviewed this week, first time I heard him, and he was talking, and they're talking about, and those people over there are nodding, they know exactly what I'm going to say. He was talking about what we're going to do. We're going to build a wall. He says, we're going to build a wall. Now, here's the good thing. He's a politician, so he wouldn't know where to start. You know, I know how to build a wall. Okay? I know exactly how to build a wall. I know the footings. I know how deep they have to go. I know how high we can go with the pre-cans. I know everything. And they won't know how to ask for the money back. They won't know that. But my wife said to me, she said, darling, that's the first time I've heard it. He just said, we're going to build a wall. It's the first time. Nobody's going to beat us on this issue. And it's not because they're being beat. It's got to be done right. It's got to be done right. We either have a country or we don't. We either have a border or we don't. It's got to be done right first. So I made the announcement. And a few people, including my wife, she said, you know if you run, you're going to win. I said, I don't know. I don't want to be embarrassed. She said, but if you don't run, if you just say you're going to run, you're never going to see anything in the polls. And you're going to. I said, well, I don't know. Because before I announced, nobody thought. They were going, if Trump runs, we promise Trump is going to run. I was getting these lousy because nobody believed it. She said, you're going to actually have to go out and actually, you're going to have to announce that you're going to have to run. Now, if you run, you're going to win. So I said, well, I just want to make it special. Make it special again. And I said, all right, look. So we did it. And I announced it. And, you know, being all of a sudden. And then they said, well, he won't far, and you know, Form A, which is basically you have to then. So I announced. And the pundit said, oh, you announced? Wow, that's surprising. Then they said, well, they'll never file Form A. Form A basically is a one-page, you signed your life away, right? I signed that. They said, whoa, you signed it. Then they said, well, he'll never file his financials because maybe he's not as rich as everybody thinks. So we have a long time to file the financials, and we have lots of 45-day extensions. And I filed it ahead, almost 100 pages, the longest financials. Oh, not another one of these characters. I'm in the midst of my best story. I think they're on our side, right? Are they on our side or not? Yes, I think so. That's all right, let them shout a little bit. Just, you know, take them out. So, I file the financials, the press goes down, they're dying to see what is it, because then I'm a private company. So it turns out, much bigger, much stronger, very little debt, tremendous income, the whole thing. Like, and some of the great assets of the world. You look at 40 Wall Street, you look at Trump Tower, you look at all of these buildings, you look in San Francisco, a big chunk of the Bank of America building, 1290 Avenue, all this stuff, great land. And they say, wow, unbelievable. You haven't heard too much about it, right? They were going to go after me. You wouldn't believe it. In fact, the people said they'd never seen a crowd of reporters down there wanting to look at a phone. So they looked, and they saw, and it was great. The reason I mention that is not braggadocious. It's a kind of thinking mentally that we need running the country. That's the kind of thinking we need. We need it. I don't want to give a Sergeant Bergdahl where we get Bergdahl a dirty, rotten traitor. No thinking. And they get 5 killers that are right now back in the battlefield wanting to kill everybody in front of them, including us, okay? That's the kind of deal. And we knew that Bergdahl was a traitor when we made the deal because a general and a colonel were there. And we knew it, and we still made the deal. We gave them 5 people. 5 people for one dirty, rotten traitor. No good. We're not making deals like that anymore. We're not making deals like that. So, the polls just kept going up and going up. And then last week, a couple of weeks ago, we had a debate, and every online poll, look at this, every online poll said I won the debates, okay? You have Drudge, who's a great guy, 46% Trump. Don't forget, that's with like 15 people. 46% of the vote I get. Time Magazine, 49%. What do I have? They didn't even pick me the person of the year. There was a list. They picked a woman who's allowed millions of people to come into Germany. And now, by the way, did you see they had to cancel their New Year's Eve? They got problems, folks. I could have told you that, folks. Here's one, Slate, 51%. U.S. News and World Report, 69%. PBS, on the liberal side, 69% Trump. So anyway, all these things, Fox, 62%, all of them, CBS, 59%. So I get all these great things. Then I go back, I turn on the television. Because you know, these people are the most dishonest people. They are the most disgusting and dishonest people. And you know, Putin called me brilliant. He said, Donald Trump is brilliant, and Donald Trump is the leader, and he said nice things about me. My people that are running it said, oh, you should maybe give him those statements back. That's not it's not good. Anybody calls me brilliant, they can call me brilliant, okay? Why would I tell them? They would love to have that. But wouldn't it be nice if we actually could get along with other countries? Wouldn't that be a president? Russia, we spend so much money, we're fighting everybody. We get nothing. We never win the fights. We don't win economically, we don't win in trade, we don't win anything. If we could get along with people, but get along smart, it would be so good. There'd be peace. And we can use them to knock out ISIS because we're going to knock the hell out of ISIS.
And I had the debate, and then right after the debate, I went up 11 points. But I also did something else that became controversial. I said, we got to find out who's coming into our country. We don't know who's coming into our country. And we've got to find out, we've got to figure out, because something's going wrong. When you have what happened in Paris, when you have what happened in Los Angeles, when you have what happened in California, when you have all of these incidents, when you have people flying airplanes into the World Trade Center, flying airplanes, that's right, flying airplanes, think of it, into the Pentagon. When you have the Boston Marathon, where it was so seriously, I mean, when I watched that, that was one of the saddest things I've ever seen. These incredible people with joy, and they're running, and their families are cheering them on. And I've gotten to meet so many of the people that were so severely hurt. And it's amazing. Their attitude is amazing. These are amazing people. But there's something going on, folks, and we got to get to the bottom of it, because we can't allow it to keep going. We can't let it. So we got to get to the bottom of it. And what happened, we had the debate, and I went up 11 points. I went up to 39 and 40 and 41 and 42 in one poll. And CNN came out with a big poll. 36 for Trump. Second was 16. 14. 4. Bush was 3. Bush. That's not good. How would you like to spend $59 million in your 3? See this young guy over here? Stand up. Stand up. If I spent $59 million on him, he'd be at least 5, okay? Really? Get him out. Sorry for them, actually. What do they get at? Who's getting them to do that? My Twitter. Thank you, Darryl. So one of the things that came out in the CNN poll, on the economy, 55%. On the budget, 51%. But what happened is, after really France, after Paris, it took a big turn. And people all of a sudden, they want me to handle trade, and they know I'll do that. I'll put Carl Icahn, I'll put other guys. Believe me, we will do beautifully on trade. We're not going to be losing $505 billion. Believe me. We'll take it back. We'll take back our jobs. We're going to take back our base. We're going to take back the manufacturing. All right. But it changed. And all of a sudden, people wanted safety and security. And it came up, illegal immigration. Trump is almost at 50% with 15 or 16 people. And then ISIS, who can handle ISIS best? Trump is almost at 50% with all of these people running. Foreign policy, I went on foreign policy. So people want to see somebody that knows what the hell he or she is doing. And we are going to do something special. We are going to do something special. I won't even go over the other polls. I love talking about them. Some of the other candidates says, isn't it terrible the way he talks about polls? It's because I'm number 1. If I was number 2, I wouldn't even be talking about them. I promise. But as long as I'm number 1, we're talking about those polls. So, we have a president that won't use the term radical, right? What's the word? Radical Islamic terrorism. How do you solve a problem when you refuse to say what the problem is? You don't solve it. You don't solve it. So what we're going to do, and we're going to do it together, and I'm telling you, people, and these people have been writing about it, and they hate like hell to do it, but they say they've never, in this country's history, seen anything like what's happening with, not with me, with us. They've never seen it. They've never seen anything like that. We are going to be smart in our country. We are going to be unpredictable in our country. We are not going to tell the enemy that we're leaving
Iraq on such and such a day in 18. So the enemy goes, and when I'm watching television, I'm saying, I see this, and I see, what, that must be a mistake. Maybe it's a camouflage. It didn't, that was the date they left. So the enemy goes back, we leave, and boy, did they knock the hell out of everything, right? ISIS comes along, I said take the oil, they didn't take the oil, all these things. We're going to be smart, but we're going to be unpredictable. We're not going to be telling, and I know a lot of people, one of the reporters said to me tonight, well, you have to explain exactly what are you going to do. I said, I really don't want to say, you know, when I kept saying the oil, it took me 1 year to actually announce it, because so much pressure was made. I said, I don't want to tell people, I want to surprise them. I want to take the oil, but I don't want to tell them I'm taking the oil. Does that make sense to anybody? I want to surprise them one night at about 11:30 when it's dark and go in there and take it. But you know, the press is saying, but you have to do it, you have to say, you have to. So I end up saying, 3 years ago, I end up saying, take the oil, take the oil, take the oil. Now everybody's saying, now it's tougher to take, but we have to be unpredictable. We have to be smart. We have to be tough. We really need, though, more than anything else, the spirit this country has is unbelievable. But we're losing our spirit. I thought that Barack Obama, one thing I would say, I thought he'd be, at a minimum, I thought he'd be a great cheerleader for the country. And he's been a great divider. It's a divided country. It's a country with so much hatred. It's got so much hatred. We are going to take our country and we're going to fix it. We're going to make it great again. We are going to fix our health. We are going to take care of our vets. We are going to fix our military. We are going to strengthen our borders. We're going to build the wall, but we are going to strengthen our borders. We have great Border Patrol people. These are amazing people, and they're told to stand back, let people flow across, stand back. That's not happening anymore. We have a country. We are going to make it great again. We're going to make it greater than ever before. I love you all. I love you all. Thank you. I love you all. Thank you. I love you.
I didn't vote. I was thinking of him or Cruz, and I've been watching every single one of them. He's got my vote. That's it.
Both of them are good.
They are both good.
I wish they would work together as a team.
Maybe vice president. That might happen. I hope so. Because I'll tell you, when I listen to him, I love. Am I? Yes. Originally from Dragon.
There's no blacks. Where are the blacks? They never showed up for anything.
Except, no, they did.
But they're not here. They should be.
Absolutely. That's right.
Why these seats weren't filled because there's no blacks.
Yeah, no. But I will tell you, I work at the polls for Lowell, and when they did the one for Obama, everybody came out.
That's right.
That's the shame of it.
They want to call us race baiters.
Yeah.
They're not here.
Absolutely.
Not here. Where are they?
Nowhere. No, you know, when you just said that, I don't think any other.
I was over in this whole room. Where are they?
Are you Janet?
Huh?
Are you Janet?
Yes. Good. Hey, you're the one that's talking to? Are you the one I've been talking to?
Exactly, yes. You want to ride back to Boston?
Yeah.
Okay, I can put you on the red line in Cambridge if that's useful to you. Okay, good. What's your schedule? You want to hang out or you want to...
No, I'm going to get out of here. You know what? No black. No black.
Oh, maybe a dozen. Maybe a dozen.
Lowell is full of blacks. Where are they?
So I'm ready to leave if you are.
I have to go back up there. Where are you from?
I'm parked about 3 blocks away, next to that restaurant that you
You
said.
go to your car and I'll park up. It's going to be
Got it.
and I'll let you know when I'm over there.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
Okay, you want my story? No blacks. Lowell is full of blacks and no blacks, so they are still race baiting us. That's terrible. They did it to Romney, they did it to the Harris, they never show up. It's very
The city's a quarter Asian.